In this video, we will cover how to use the Data-Diff tool in WinSQL. Using this tool, I can compare data across multiple tables and views, as well as across multiple databases. As long as the design of both tables match, you can use Data-Diff to compare their data. When I run Data-Diff, the output report is generated in HTML format and will show all records that do not match. In this example, I'm going to be comparing data located in two different Microsoft SQL servers. Keep in mind that you can also compare across two different database types. To begin, I'm going to click on Tools in the top ribbon, Database Diff, and finally Data-Diff. This will pull up the Data-Diff wizard. Here, I can select an existing template or create a new one. Because I haven't previously created any templates, I will need to create a new one. The friendly name field will be used to distinguish between the two databases in the final report, and this can be whatever you wish. Now I'm going to click on Connect to the first database, which will pull up the database connection window, and select my first SQL Server database. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the second database and select a different SQL Server. You can also choose to specify a schema or leave it as the default option. I'm going to leave it as the default. The next window will allow me to restrict objects in the database. Reducing the number of objects will speed up the matching process. If there are too many tables in a database, it might be a good idea to specify the starting characters of the tables I want to compare here. On the next page, it will list all of the matching tables it found that fall within my specifications. One thing to keep in mind is that you can only compare tables with matching schema. You can right-click and select all tables, or you can select individual tables by checking the box next to their names. On the right side, I see columns for the selected table. In order for this tool to work, there must be a primary key specified on the table. In some cases, there may not be a primary key assigned, and for those situations, you can select a field and click the Assign Primary Key button here. This is only temporary. Double-clicking on a field will cross it out and set its color to gray. This means that WinSQL will ignore this field during comparison. It is important to understand a bit about how this tool works. First, it will set my first database as a reference of the second database and try to find the matching values. Then it will run that same process with the databases in the opposite order. If I only want to run the comparison with respect to one database, I can uncheck this box here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do for this example. This means that it will take the values from my first database and try and find the matching fields in the second database. Once I'm satisfied with this, I can click the next button, which will take me to the Output Configuration window. This field specifies the file name and location where my report will be saved. There is a checkbox here that, if enabled, will span the report to multiple files if it is very large. We recommend keeping this box checked. If I want to change the format of the report, I can specify a style sheet here, or just use the built-in one. The final window will allow us to save this configuration as a template to run in the future. When I click Finish, it will run the comparison and give me the option to see the results. Here we can see the number of records in each table and how many don't match. Clicking the Customer table will take me to the Details section, which will display the records that do not match. If I click Details next to each record, it will give me the value for each field, as well as more information as to why they don't match. For example, in this record, it displays Jack's drinks in my first database, but it is not in the second database. Here you will also see a select statement that will help you identify the record in the database. For more information about WinSQL, we have an extensive knowledge base available on our website. And as always, you can reach out to our support department at support@cinemetrics.com if you have any questions.